Right, now we are looking at Red Keep of Eternal Battlegrounds, and this one gets 29 supply per minute if the yaks make it every time. 2/3 of the supplies actually come from Pangloss because that's a quick route, whereas the Speldan route, it's really long. And 29 supply per minute, that's just about 2 or 3 slower than the other two keeps, but it's not a big issue because since I said most of your supply comes from Pangloss, as long as you're watching that one more closely and making sure it's more upgraded, you'll actually get more supply than the other keeps. The workers, they take 32 seconds for each iteration. That's about 4 seconds faster than the other keeps. That's pretty good. So we're starting off looking at south gate of the keep, and first thing you'll notice is this cannon has to be AoE'd down immediately before you get on the gate, or else it'll take down your rams real quick. I'm going to go ahead and enter up here, and we'll take a look up top. There's some trebuchet spots for trebbing Stone Mist Castle. I don't recommend putting trebs here. The fact that there's 3 of them and they're all superior there, that's kind of laughable, I guess, because they really should be going here, and you'll be hitting 2 walls at once of Stone Mist Castle instead of just 1. But anyway, looking up top here, it's a pretty short wall, so that's not great for defending. Fortunately, it's kind of high up, so I would recommend you put an arrow cart. Like here will be the best spot because it's tough to reach, and you can AoE down there with the arrow cart. If we go up here and you place an arrow cart like here, that's even better. This is very hard for them to reach, and you can very comfortably still hit them. So this spot right here makes going through this gate when it's sieged up a lot tougher. So you better hope there's no arrow carts over here that are manned, because they're very tough to reach. Now we're going to go ahead and continue on in here. There's kind of this spiral ramp, of course, and you can see, hey, we can take an immediate right, and you're not going to be doing that. But that's where Watergate is. Typically you're going to just continue up the spiral staircase, but we're going to take a look at Watergate real quick and see this is what it's going to look like on their screen. Of course, they enter Watergate like this, so they kind of have to go. This area is kind of close to their spawn, but if you can get to the Watergate without being revealed, there's almost never scouts on Watergate, and there's hardly ever any siege because no one goes to Watergate to refresh it. Now it does depend on your tier a little bit, but more often than not it's not going to be refreshed. So this ramp is actually very nice because you can place siege back here and it's just tough to reach. But this little piece right here is going to screw it over, because it's going to make it tougher on your camera to see in front of the gate if you're on an arrow cart here. Now if you can kind of just get your camera to work, which you can do, I mean I've done it here, like kind of like that, you can start to get a little bit better with it. But you definitely need to be able to work your camera to be able to do it. You can place an arrow cart here as well, but the same issue ends up happening. So honestly, you're going to end up having to do the Control-Shift-H, getting a good camera angle and using your arrow cart like that. And you don't want to have to do Control-Shift-H unless you absolutely have to. You can place an arrow cart back here, that's fine. You can place an arrow cart like here. Now you run it. No, you don't want to do that. You run into camera problems. But we'll just go ahead and continue on up. So if we were to get in through this gate, we would just go up like this, continuing on our way to the top, and you can end up getting here, and this will be the gate you go through unless you want to go through the walls, and you can even go around there to the other side for a wall. We're going to just continue on in and take a look at this. We're going to go right up top the staircase. So this is actually a decent location for a staircase because look, you can build an arrow cart here, you can build build an arrow cart here and use your arrow cart down there. It's tough to reach. Don't build it along here. I wouldn't do it. Here is fine. A little bit tougher for them to reach it when it's here. Get down there. If we're going for this wall, you can have arrow carts over here. There's walls all the way around here, so they definitely have a lot of options, but when you already have your commander back because they're on the inner, you can just get arrow carts up so quick. So even though there's walls all around here, I mean, they can get them up quick. Now, one thing I kind of missed, there's a treb here. That's the treb on Zalius. You can treb defense. You can treb it to take the tower. Unfortunately, you can't treb Mindens. It just doesn't work. You can't reach that far. There's a cannon here. This cannon's silly because you can't reach Southgate there. You can, however, cannon your own gate for defense if they go that way. Here's a treb for Ogre Watch Tower. You can treb right in front of the tower to take down the rams. You can even treb the wall to try to take it back. Another thing I want to mention is this mortar is pretty bad. You can't mortar your own gate because if this is turned correctly, or it doesn't even matter where it's turned, you're going to overshoot it. If you turn a little bit more to the right, you're going to hit your own thing, just like that. So you can't mortar your own gate, and then that mortar, same problem. So those mortars are pretty poorly placed to be able to do anything useful. So this mortar, you're going to end up, actually it shouldn't be turned this way, you're going to use it to defend Ogre Watch. That's the only purpose of that mortar. And of course you can have a treb for Valaka. You can treb the wall, you can treb defense, you can mortar defense. Goodness, I just messed that up. Don't do that. The mortar is not going to be for the gate, it's going to be for the catapults that they build. Just like that. If they had catapults down there, you could try to rotate the mortar. Usually there's like a catapult here. You can just catapult your own gate, or arrow carts or something like that, ballista even. We're going to go to this gate now. This is double gate, and unfortunately for this one, well, I guess it depends on which side you're on. This gate you cannot ram both from out here. The other two keeps, you can place rams right on the gate and they can still reach the other gate after this gate goes down. You can't do that for this one. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at it. Of course they go up the stairs, and this is what it looks like on their screen, and we'll go ahead and enter. And we'll go right up top the staircases, or the staircase, whichever. We'll take a look at it. So this is a pretty lengthy wall. That's good. That means you can place arrow carts back here and use them over there. They're tough to reach, and Omega will definitely reach them though. But Omegas can reach just about anything. Going to continue walking. You can build arrow carts kind of over here. They'd probably be AoE a little bit easier right there. So you'd want to place it further back, kind of like this. There's no way they can reach this unless they have a counter arrow cart or something. Like an arrow cart up here, it's very, very tough for them to reach. So I would absolutely consider building an arrow cart there. For defense, of course, you got a burning oil pot on each gate. That is a nightmare for them to handle. The cannons, they'll just DPS them down immediately. It's probably the first thing they'll get after. There's a mortar here. In all honesty, this mortar is pretty useless. You could turn it that way. That would be the only use for this mortar, even though it doesn't look like it's designed to be turned that way. It just, there's nothing your mortar can really do in that direction. There's no use for it. But anyways, that's really everything about Red Keep. It's definitely the easiest keep to defend because you've got the double gate doesn't work, and you've just got a lot of great siege spots where it's tough for them to reach it on each side. And of course there's a wall here. Sometimes I've seen them try to catapult from there. It's just a tough thing to do, especially if the wall's fortified. And of course another thing about a trebuchet right in the center, and it doesn't really take long at all to rotate it. You can hit either gate, and you can just flood this with gate trebs. I have no problems, but that's pretty much how Red Keep works. It doesn't flip much, and that's everything I've got. I mean, this keep, don't lose it, please. It's the easiest keep to defend in EBG, and now you know why. So thanks for watching.